Cognitive decline, but confidence remains. Let's break it down on this episode of the Hawaii Retirement Show. All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Hawaii Retirement Show. Today's episode, we're talking about cognitive decline as we age and how this relates to a lot of things in life, but especially financial decisions made as we age. And what prompted this was I came across a study, and I can't reference it now. I don't know where I heard it. I always hate when that happens. I usually bookmark things or take notes of where I heard what, but I can't recall where. But what this study was saying was that as we age, we all have cognitive decline, right? That's not saying anything everybody already knows. But what it showed, and it was specifically relating to financial decisions, was how confidence remained, right? So despite the cognitive decline, these elder people still had confidence that they're making the right decisions. And I think you can see this in like a lot of older people driving, right? Some people know when to give it up and they just say, listen, I got to stop driving. But other people, I'm sure we've all met people who continue driving and think that they still got it. And us on the outside, being younger and sharper, we look at them and say, man, you got to stop driving, right? You're getting kind of dangerous. And but a lot of times in their minds, they think, I still got it, right? And this mentality, what this study was talking about was how this pertains to financial decisions. Right, you could be maybe you're in the financial industry in some aspect, right? But the unfortunate truth and fact is the overwhelming majority of us are going to suffer cognitive decline later in life. And we might think we're making the right decisions, but in fact, we're making, bad decisions for our finances. And I think this is an opportunity and just kind of a PSA, public service announcement for children of, aging parents to kind of make sure something is in place to kind of point out, these things. If things start to look a little shaky, or somebody's kind of helping the parents along to kind of make sure that they're not doing anything, too detrimental to their finances. Maybe they're not paying bills. Maybe they're in the stock market and they're moving money, erratically, or I don't know. There's a whole multitude of things that could be happening there. And money's a tough thing, especially with when you're talking with family, whether that's your parents or your siblings or relatives, right? Because society kind of, especially here in America, we've kind of really equated wealth with status, and that can be hard to talk about with others. Maybe sometimes you're ashamed of how much you have, or other times you have a lot, but you don't want people to know because you think they'll expect things from you. And so it can be just a tricky thing to talk about. But, obviously, I'm an advisor outside of this podcast, and, it's a easy way to plug why somebody should use a financial advisor is maybe you build a soft relationship with them, right? Because, okay, I take care of our family finances right now. My spouse, whether that's the husband or wife, doesn't really keep track of things too well. And I've been kind of spearheading everything. And if I create a soft relationship with an advisor, or maybe that's, a trusted friend or a child, and you create this soft relationship where it's like, I'm going to open up a little, you don't have to hand over the keys and say, here, manage everything and take care of everything, but start to build that soft relationship. So that way, at a certain point later on, maybe you pass off the keys and you have them kind of, help out and watch over everything for you. One other thing I want to talk about that can kind of, I want to say it's a perfect solution to this dilemma here of cognitive decline and confidence remaining as it pertains to financial decisions. But it is something that can be used as a tool to kind of combat this, and that is the Single-Premium Immediate Annuity. Okay, and there's all different types of annuities. I don't care for most of them. I think they're overly complicated. I think the people selling them don't even understand what they're selling, and And they're packaged in really nice ways to make you think you're getting this great deal, and there's no fees, but there's really high fees with a lot of them, especially the variable annuities. But annuities are a tool, and there is a place for them. What I like about the Single-Premium Immediate Annuity in particular, SPIA, is what it allows you to do is kind of buy a pension, right? And so let's say you're getting older and you're worried about running out of money. You've been managing your distribution strategy from your retirement accounts. And what you can do is hand off a chunk of that, right? And you can give whatever amount that is. And the insurance company, and you want to make sure you're using a good insurance company, a trusted insurance company that's not going to cave in. It's a stable company. It's not some Bermuda-based, I don't know, fly-by-night, insurance company. But what they can do is you hand over a lump sum of money, and depending on interest rates, they're going to tell you, and your life expectancy and some other things, they're going to tell you how much they can give you every month as sort of a paycheck for handing this over. And so what you do is you place the burden of risk in asset management and managing the distributions and the complexities around that. You pass that off to an insurance company, and in turn, they're going to guarantee you this payment every month for the rest of your life. Typically until you pass away, right? And so it's longevity risk as well. But it's a good tool that can be used in this situation where you kind of take the financial decisions out of it, right? Out of the equation. You hand over this money, and they're going to guarantee you this monthly paycheck for the rest of your life. Buyer beware. Do your homework. I'm not recommending this to everybody. And these annuities, like I said, they can get very complicated, but they are a tool, right? Like all this stuff, like IRAs are a tool, like index funds and mutual funds. They're a tool that can be used. Right? CDs, Social Security, they're all kind of tools and puzzles that kind of fit together to create a retirement plan. And this Single-Premium Immediate Annuity, a SPIA, can take some of the decision-making away. And in turn, right, there's trade-offs to everything, right? You give up something and you get something in return. But I just thought I'd bring it up real quickly here to say, it does have its place, and I thought it was pertinent for this episode as we kind of talk about, cognitive decline. It can prove to be the right tool sometimes in this circumstance. But do your own homework. This isn't investment, tax advice, legal advice. Consult with somebody who's a professional. Look at your situation. Understand, what am I trying to accomplish, right? Be intentional. A lot of times, I like to think about it in terms of exercise, right? Somebody says, all right, I'm here to exercise. Tell me what to do. It's like, what's your goal, right? What's your goal? Is your goal to be a marathon runner? Is your goal to be really strong? Because you're going to train differently depending on what your goal is, right? And the same is true for your investments and retirement planning. Is like, you got to be intentional and clear about, what am I trying to accomplish? What's the goal? Okay, and then you can look at, well, what tools are at my disposal and how can I best accomplish this goal? And I think that's a good place to leave it off here. As always, if there's anything you'd like me to talk about on the show in particular, email it over to aloha@hawaiiretirementshow.com, and we'll catch everyone on the next one.
The opinions and statements presented on this show are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Never make any investment or financial decisions based on information offered on this show without first consulting your financial, legal, or tax advisor. All economic and performance information mentioned on the show is historical in nature and is not indicative of any future results. All indices mentioned on this show are unmanaged and cannot be invested in directly. All information is believed to be from reliable sources. However, we make no representation as to its completeness or accuracy. Lastly, all opinions expressed by Jason Cutitta and any guests on the show are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of or are endorsed by ToBA Financial. For Jason Cutitta, investment advisory services are offered through ToBA Financial LLC, a registered investment advisor offering advisory services in the state of Hawaii and in other jurisdictions where exempt from registration.